Welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to the lot and I am going to pull apart the Audi A4 sedan that I purchased and see what the actual damage is and see why the coolant is leaked. Today is a beautiful day and I'm excited to take this thing out. It is not super impressive because it's all stock, but I absolutely love this car, and on nice days like today I try to take it out. That view is just not something you get tired of. That angle, that arch, I love it. It's a beautiful day, but it's not hot out. And this guy. Let's get this thing pulled apart and see what we are working with. So once I actually get it all fixed up and it runs good mechanically, I will have to clean all of this up. First guess, and it's a T27. Nice. So I want to loosen up the fender, hopefully move this out of the way, which will free up the headlight because it's in there pretty darn good. Like, I'm tugging and it's barely moving. I did not take the bolts out, literally just loosened it up, and I was able to wiggle the headlight out. So it looks like I would be able to plastic weld that together so I don't have to buy a new headlight. And then tabs, I should be able to also get those done. Now let's get it actually disconnected. Headlight is out, so this is the only damage plus the broken tabs that I see. So I think I'll take this home so I could plastic weld it. Yeah, kind of looking at all of this, I really don't see a clear culprit. Like, I assumed radiator seems fine. I don't see any wet hoses. But then again, it has been a few days, so it could be the fact that it just dried up. The only thing that's slightly wet is this connector right here. So I think I'm gonna have to go to the store, get some coolant, top it off, get this thing started, let it run and see where the coolant is coming from. Going to start it and take a look where it could potentially be leaking from, but I really don't see an obvious sign. Hard to see with that, but this is where a crack is. There it is, just dripping all the way down. I want to see if I could plastic weld this, or not plastic, JB weld it. Because I've used JB weld before on a radiator and it worked out just fine. But at the same time, there's always a risk because, you know, once I get this fixed up and replaced, or just fixed up, welded, then I'll have to drive it, make sure everything is good and keep checking on it because I don't want to sell a car that's going to have issues down the road to a customer. Here's a slightly better look with this out. So, I mean, honestly, it's like ½ an inch, ¼ inch crack right here, which I think is super minor. JB Weld is up to like 6,000 pound or inches. I don't know what the pressure it holds, but it's actually really, really good. So I think I'll just be able to plastic weld it around that and save myself money and time fixing it up. So I have decided that I am going to JB weld the plastic radiator support and see how that goes. Drive it for a few weeks, and if it's all good, no leaks, and it passes through the Oregon state emission test, then I think the car will be good to go to sell. So right now I'm going to Home Depot. I'm gonna grab what I need, and then I think tomorrow or the day after I will return, JB weld that area and kind of put it back together and hopefully it works. It's a new day, and as you can see, it's not as good as it was yesterday, but work doesn't stop. So the goal right now is to clean off all of this paint and then see if I could JB weld that minor crack right there and then let it set until about tomorrow and come back and finish everything up. I usually use paint remover, but we're gonna see with it being rainy if this is gonna work, which looks like it is. Awesome. This is what I'll be using. As you can see, it's made for plastic and holds up to almost 3,800 psi. So I think this will be more than enough for this little crack around here. And all done. I know it looks messy, it doesn't look good. I will possibly end up cleaning it up afterwards, but I just wanted to make sure it's fully coated. So now, closing this up and gonna go work on the headlight. I made it home, and before we lose too much sunlight, we're going to patch this headlight up. So tabs are broken right here. What I'm going to do is clean it up a little bit, just so that the surface is more available to kind of work on, and then we'll get started. I really do feel like a surgeon when I do stuff like this, but this tab goes here, and I am going to try to do it from the rear. But for this I'll need two hands, and I'll need to be kind of quick. Making progress. This is kind of what it looks like. So I just need to weld this part right here underneath and touch it up a little bit, and this tab should be done. Looking pretty messy, but it's looking pretty good. This one I still have to do the inside from the back right here. I think the headlight is done. I'm gonna put it in the Mini because I am taking it to the lot and swapping it for the truck that I have there. And then tomorrow I will probably put this in and finish up the Audi. What I want you guys to see is not everything gets done in one day. And yesterday I dropped off the Mini Cooper with the headlight for the Audi. Now I'm taking this other Audi that I have, the convertible, back to the shop to hopefully finish up the sedan Audi, which this video is all about. But I am going on day 3. I think I should be able to get everything done today as long as it's not leaking and not overheating. I should be okay, but I mean, you just never know. So I guess we will find out shortly. Here's my game plan. I am going to get this car started. Need a drum box for it. Let it run. As it's kind of warming up, I am going to put the headlight in. And hopefully it won't be leaking. Well, dang, that's in there good. That's in there real good. I like it. Okay, we're adding water just to get it up to level. That should do it. Would you look at that? That looks pretty good. More or less it's put together. The one thing I did completely forget about is the dripping from the bottom. So I don't know how much of an issue that's going to be. Yeah, we'll find out. The engine hasn't warmed up yet. I can't check if there's any heat. It's still blowing cool. It's been running for a few minutes, but clearly I'm not driving it, so I don't know. but I definitely smell the coolant. Engine is definitely warming up. Oh, look at this. As soon as I put it into gear, coolant light comes on, so I'm gonna add more coolant. Here we go, moment of truth. It's starting to warm up and I have absolutely no heat. What that basically means is while I was driving the car, unfortunately, I lost too much coolant, and now by pouring some in, there's an air bubble somewhere in the system, or the radiator doesn't have enough coolant in it. So now I have to play around with it and figure this out, because if I have no heat coming through the vents, I cannot drive this car. Fourth day and counting, but still making progress. Baby steps on this one. So since yesterday I poured in water, a lot of water, because I thought I had coolant, but I didn't. So we're gonna be doing things differently. Technically this is an oil extractor. We use this to do oil changes on the boat. Done it on the Jaguar XK, and yeah, we're gonna pump this, see how much water we could get out of there, and then refill it with concentrated antifreeze to offset. I learned one thing. So you guys see this little hole right here? It'll focus. So that's where it was dripping from. When it bubbles up too much and it starts to go over the top, that's, I guess, a natural drain. So this tank is okay, those wires are not, but I've been massaging this hose for the last, how long, 15 minutes? About. And so David goes, get in and just give it some gas. And that's exactly what I did, and we have heat. It is blowing hot. But now we have a check engine light on. So I'll have to make sure that the coolant level is actually topped off at a proper level. But this car is so close to being done. And then I'll have to do this window. I don't know what's going on with it, but if you guys hear that, it's working. The motor is working, but nothing is happening. So that will be the next thing, but I think that will happen when I get the car home and actually, you know, it drives fine with no issues. So I'm thinking now, should we take it out for a drive? See if it runs well? Here's what I'm faced with. I just took it maybe half a mile up and down the street. I pushed it somewhat hard and it's not overheating. The question is, do I take that and risk, it's almost 4 o'clock, so it'll be kind of trafficy going over the bridge. So do I take that and risk it overheating, or do I go home on the convertible that I've been using the last few days? The reason why I want to take that thing is I want to fill it up with the windshield wiper fluid, fill that up. This window doesn't roll down. As you guys can see, there's a slight gap. And then figure out the check engine code. But like, it's not overheating now, and we still have heat, really hot heat going through it. Or take this car, and this one still needs a little bit of work too. So temperature is dead center and has been running for about 20 minutes now, so I think it's good to go. But with it being kind of rush hour, I am not taking this car. I will leave it here and then come back when, either in the evening, just in case if it does overheat, I don't cause more trouble on the road for other drivers, and I could safely get off to the side of the road and then figure out what I'm gonna do. So maybe I'll come back for it tonight, but I'm taking the convertible, they call it another thing, and I'm just gonna finish up a few minor things on that car. And before this video ends, we're going to see if the battery is good. Look at that, that's awesome. So I don't need a new battery, although I've been having to jump it every time I came here. Well, why is the battery light on? Hey, welcome to German Cars, guys. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining. I think the car is more or less complete, aside from minor things that I still have to do, which I think will be okay to do off video. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video. Have a wonderful day.